aboard, kid.
Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the W.A.K.
Yeah.
The wackest podcast on the internet.
Let's go.
I'm one of your three hosts, Naboo, that's who.
I'm Super Symbiote.
I'm Fluff McGruff.
And today on the W.A.K, we are doing kind of a big one. We're gonna do a huge June recap of a few things that you might have missed, a few things that we couldn't cover. And we're also going to talk a little bit right now at the beginning of why we are kind of been a little lax on content in June.
Yeah.
I'm sure you noticed it's been a couple weeks for this episode. And we haven't been, releasing regularly, but we'll get into that in a bit. But, just get excited. We'll cover all the things, talk about some cool stuff maybe you didn't hear about. And we'll just go ahead and get right into it. And I'll just tell you, we all work 8-hour jobs.
If not
a
more.
big part of why it's hard for us to get together and do these, especially we work different shifts.
Yeah.
And
Because of you.
I'm sure y'all understand. Life happens. But
No, yeah. I got rabies. It was great.
yeah.
1 out of 10
We also had a rabies scare.
Do not recommend. For those of you who don't know, rabies is a disease carried by wild animals. It will cause hydrophobia, muscle spasms, and eventually death if not treated. Once symptoms develop, you cannot be treated. So if you are bit by a wild animal and you don't know if it's got rabies, do yourself a favor. Go get those rabies shots. It's not going to be fun, but it could potentially save your life.
ESA.
Yep.
Saving lives
So,
out
You
here.
put a little rainbow
Boom.
where I did that just now.
There you go.
Sparkly
Put us under
rainbow.
the educational content tab. And we're off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so life things happen. But we're glad to be back with you guys and do a recap of things we missed in June. And of course, we are gonna start off with gaming. Probably our favorite thing to
Yeah.
talk about on this podcast.
The most dominant
That's my favorite
topic.
topic.
If you have been following us through June, you saw we did a state of play. We saw we did the Summer Game Fest, and we even covered a bit of what Netflix is releasing. But what you might have missed was also the Day of the Devs. Ton of indie releases there. The Epic Games Showcase saw some
Yeah.
really cool stuff, including a Middle Earth game coming, as well as a new Disney Mario Kart-esque game. So if you ever wanted to Mario Kart with all your favorite Disney characters, you can do that soon.
That's dope.
We also had the Tribeca Games Spotlight, which really highlighted some games that focus more on storytelling and having
Oof.
impactful stories in them. And
That's
of
my
course,
jam.
the Guerrilla Collective as well came out with a bunch of indie showcases. And then, of course, a big one for us here at the WACcast. We finally got some good news. We got some confirmation and a little sneak at Skate 4.
Yes.
Woo!
Thank
Bro,
God,
it's been
dude.
years. I feel like that was a generational thing.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
For those who don't know, we were heavy skateboarders here on the WACcast back in our prime. And
Bro, let's
Skate
get real
3,
here. Our whole target
Skate
audience
2.
used to skate. You know you did.
Yeah.
Kind of bust out them DCs, dust them off.
For real, right now in the comments,
Wax
put,
the pole, man.
did you wear Etnies or DCs? Tell me in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Which is better.
Now, see, did you wear Etnies or DCs, or were you a Fallen kid?
Fallen or Vans? Though.
Because I know,
Vans,
Vans are still around. Those are like
That's true,
classic
and it's
shoe
not
wear.
necessarily
the skate
for
shoe that
skaters, but yeah.
lasted.
I still have
Fair.
my board, man. I mean, Rhett's got the
I
sweet
recently got
ass
a new
Yoda
one,
board.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, we still have the love in our hearts.
Got an
It's
anime
still
titties
there.
board.
Yep, he's got
Definitely does.
a wild nuded anime board.
We can't show it on the podcast.
I
We
can't.
won't show it. Maybe we can show mine, but I digress.
But if you
Yeah,
click
we're
and join our
getting-
Patreon, that doesn't exist.
If you
There
go to
you
our
go.
OnlyFans, you can see Justin's anti-skateboard.
But back to skating. Skate 4 is finally coming soon enough. They're letting us know that it's almost in its test playing stages, which is going to be super exciting. And finally, hopefully I'll get to relive a little bit of my childhood.
I love it too, because on the video that they did release, it was just all like videos of the avatars like falling over and stuff. And it said in the beginning, it was like, keep in mind, this game is in pre alpha stage. And then they just dropped, and it was just all these videos of the avatars eating shit. Like, it was
Yeah.
so funny.
Honestly, though, I'm really excited to see it back. I feel like so. I mean, I think it's an unpopular opinion, but I didn't like Tony Hawk Pro Skate all that much.
Oh, you're whack.
Get out.
No,
Get
yeah, but
out.
Skate, I really liked the magnitude as well as the like mechanics as to how you did tricks with the stick, about how like it
Well,
like
yeah,
rotated in different
but
ways and stuff.
that's why skate was so revolutionary, because it was, I believe, one of the first, if not one of, if not the first, to do that new wave of skating game where it's not just button mashing, it's you're kind of feeling out the tricks with the stick, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And that's
No.
why they're
Very
so
sick.
popular, man. That and there's been games that have tried to do that since, and I feel like the
Yeah.
general consensus is like this doesn't feel as clean as skate.
Well,
So we can
there's
only hope.
still a lot of people who play Skater XL, and I've seen videos of it, and it tries to be skate, but it's just too wonky for
I've
me.
See, yeah, I did too. I watched a lot because I've been itching for skate for so long. I thought about getting Skater XL,
Yeah.
and I even watched like a YouTube video of a guy who played Skater XL who switched to Skate 3 for a little, and he was like, at first it was super confusing, but by the end he preferred the Skate 3 like mechanics, and
Yeah.
like it was hard for him to go back to his like Skater XL stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, so I'll just hold out for Skate 4. And it
Yeah,
Well,
looks
I
like we
hope.
weren't dreaming. It's
yeah.
coming.
For
I just
those
hope
of
it's like
you,
even cleaner. Like I know that's a lot to ask for. Honestly, if it's the same mechanics as Skate 3, I'll be fine
I
with it.
That's all I need.
it's
But like,
supposedly going to be a really good, like,
right, I want to
revamp.
see how polished they actually make this game. Because I know they're gonna, you don't wait this long to do a sequel without putting a lot of love and care into it. So I'm excited to see just how gnarly they can make this game.
Well,
Well, we can only hope. It
quickly,
is it is EA,
like,
right?
I
And hopefully they let
remember,
us play as like Nigel Houston and shit now, and they can get some of the new skateboarders and play.
well,
That'd be
yeah,
cool.
I remember, like, for those of you who may be old enough, who knows, to remember back when Walmart would allow you to play games in the aisles. I remember them showcasing Skate, like specifically Skate for PlayStation 3. And it was just so groundbreaking to go from something like Tony Hawk to Skate. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling it'll do it again. Skate 4 will be revolutionary. It'll bring back the skateboarding genre for a little bit. It'll be pretty sweet.
And hopefully it could push Activision to start working on the Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remakes, because
Oh my
apparently
God.
those have gotten shelved, and that's a terrible
Yes.
mistake. Fuck you, Activision.
I read his interview and it was so depressing. He walked in there fully gassed, was like, people are going to be so pumped for 3 and 4. And they were like, we're not doing a 3 and 4. You got your game. It's like, what? You guys are
But
bastards.
let's not dwell on the negatives. The positives, Skate 4 is coming, and a ton of other games. Please go watch those different showcases that I mentioned. There were a ton more that I didn't even talk about. So many
I
games talk
I do want to
released
talk
in
about the
June.
Disney Mario Karts real quick. And
Yeah.
like, if we don't get Sora in that game, okay. All I'm saying is, all right, we better
Interesting. I
get
don't know.
Stitch. All right, we better get all of Dwayne the Rock Johnson's characters, and we better get Sora. All right, right now, I'm telling you,
Right.
Yeah,
No.
you want fans for this Disney kart game, put Sora in that shit.
it's a possibility. I'll say
It is a
it.
possibility. And with that does it for our gaming section. Go look up everything. You missed a bunch.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to move on to the movies you might have missed in June. We had some pretty cool movie releases.
From the same
They
event.
Well, none of the ones I'm talking. These are all like big blockbuster movies that
Oh,
I've written down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we have our new and hopefully final Jurassic Park.
Woo!
I know not a lot of people aren't really excited about it. I'm probably not ever gonna
Yeah.
see it. We had a new Lightyear movie. The
I
Toy
heard that's
Story
actually really
universe
good.
came back
Yeah.
with Lightyear, the movie. I've heard mixed reviews. I've only heard, but mostly I've heard it's bad because two same gender characters kiss, and
Which
apparently
is
a bunch of people are
apparently
just
the end of the world.
big
I
babies.
also heard it's got a really good plot twist that explains like a lot of stuff about Buzz that we didn't
Yeah.
see coming,
Honestly,
which is
I'm really
nice.
glad that they're getting into like the Zorg stuff with Buzz Lightyear. Because I know there was like
Zurg.
a cartoon show when I was growing up, but they never really got into that in Toy Story about like Buzz's
Right.
universe and stuff. So I'm glad that we're getting that. And then according to my nephew, which this is the first movie he's gone to see in movie theaters ever. It was the best movie he's ever seen. So
Wow.
straight from a 2 year
Well,
old's mouth.
there you have it. The
Yeah,
best movie
first and the
ever.
last. He'll never go back now. He's seen
Yeah,
Lightyear.
his
Let
life
us
is
know.
completed.
Yeah. Let us know if you agree in the comments. Also, another big movie release was Elvis. Baz Luhrmann made a new Elvis movie.
Does
The
look good.
trailer looked cool to me. Yeah, it focuses more on the Elvis's manager and how the manager like brought Elvis in and kind of,
Yeah.
maybe manipulated him, used him, stuff like that. But the manager is played by Tom Hanks, so I'm sure it's fantastic.
That was the one big review that I saw is like it's a fantastic movie, but it has too much Tom Hanks and not enough
Mhm.
Austin Butler Elvis.
No, yeah, Austin Butler Elvis is looking clean.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said they were blown away with his audition. So I imagine he started singing and they were like, "Oh my god.
Oh my God, that's Elvis.
This is Elvis."
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw that trailer, like it was a randomly, I was like watching YouTube and the trailer came on and I had to skip it. I was like, wait, this looks kind of sick.
No, yeah.
It
I mean,
plays
I
at the
kind of get
beginning of
it
Batman in
from like the
theaters.
director
It's
standpoint, I
trippy.
guess. Because like Tom Hanks is a massive talent, and you're not gonna use that on your set, you know.
Yeah.
But like also like if someone's killing the role as good as how I hear Austin Butler was, like give him the time, man. Like let him get it.
Yeah. They slept on him, I guess, and just did too much of his manager in the movie.
But I think that was the point of the movie. It was always more a story about that. But,
Yeah.
they didn't expect their Elvis to be so good, maybe.
Well, hey, I've got one to slip in there that's pretty wild
Yeah,
while
go
we're
for it.
talking about movies. So I keep checking it on a daily basis. It seems like it's getting more and more and more popular. Of course, there is no official word from the studio itself, but just a whole bunch of reliable sources are reporting that Andrew Garfield has apparently signed a contract with Marvel to come back for 2 more films as Spider-Man.
I'll believe it
Now,
when I see it.
at
Let's go.
first I was like, okay, that's probably a little janky. I've been looking into it for days and it's just everywhere. There is so many reports saying that Marvel has spoken with him and they have an agreement in place. So I feel like if that would be the case, they would probably sign him and ship him to Sony's universe since they now have that dominant Spider-Man right back. He has to go through them first.
It's Morbin time.
So it could be a chance he pops up in Sony. It could be another multiverse appearance for some type of future MCU project. He'll just make a cameo or something, and that's all it is. But I see that people really want Toby, and I'm telling you now, Toby is too old. He is just not going to want to do that. But Andrew is still young and very much wants to do it one more time. So
I think fans, you need to just be happy with what we got from Toby and realize that was the send off that we deserved, that we were lucky enough to get, that he was gracious enough to give us. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And let him move aside to make room for Andrew Morbin Garfield. All right.
Yeah, I think
the
Andrew
Morbin
could
time
bring
crossover, Spider-Man Morbius. It's gonna be sweet.
I think
All
he
right.
could bring a lot of love to the Sony universe and they could have like a joint effort because Tom has stated multiple times he does not want to do it again right now. he wants to have a nice break before he ever considers coming back for
He's
Spider-Man.
branching out a lot too. I feel like he's been Spider-Man for so many years. He's just like, I want to
You
do
gotta
everything else. And he might be spreading himself a little thin.
He's pushing for Miles. He wants
But
to
he's
produce
young.
a Miles Morales film for
Yeah, and if
Marvel.
he can
would be
make that
sweet.
happen for us, the fans, then more power to him, because I would love to see Miles on the big screen.
Yeah, that'd
Now,
be
There's
sick.
so many people that can play him.
speaking of that, I'm going to throw it to Justin now to tell us about actors who aren't doing so much for their fans.
Yeah, so people who aren't doing so much for their fans. That's right. We're going to be talking about Ezra Miller for the fourth time on this podcast, because guess what, guys? He's in more trouble with the law. Now, you can go look that up for yourself, see what trouble he's gotten into. But because of these new events and all of the events in the past, he is finally being dropped from WB. We are
Yeah.
not going to have to deal with him in the future. Now, they are still releasing that Flash movie, just like they said they would. For all those people that love to get in on the cancel culture and cancel movies for the reasons of their actors' consequences, try not to do it with this one. Ezra Miller is being punished. I am sure there will be a resolution in the near future. And this is probably a really great movie to go see for Batman fans. We have Michael Keaton returning to the role. We have Ben Affleck putting everything he has into his last Batman performance. Give this movie a chance.
Not even like Sasha Cale. I'm so excited to see Sasha Cale Supergirl. And I feel like with her being a DC staple, it would be nice. So we need some new flavor like that. People are hating on her because they're whack, but I think she looks dope. And yes, Michael Keaton, you can't cancel this movie because he's already set up to be a bigger point in future DC films. So this is his introduction to our shared DC universe now. And if you cut that out, then it mutes his whole entire story arc for the Batgirl film.
So I know
it's an important movie.
Out of principle, a lot of you are going to want to not see this movie because of the atrocities that Ezra Miller has committed. But to be completely honest, fuck Ezra Miller. Go support Ben Affleck. Go support Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
And then we'll never have to deal with Ezra again.
Yeah. And I highly like, this is my dream as a fan. This is what I think my dream layout would be right now. If they came to Grant and they were like, look, we are doing some reshoots, because they were doing reshoots for the Flash, and they're like, we're going to reshoot the ending. We're going to have you come in as the DC Flash, and it's going to be because Ezra does all this shit with the timeline. It's going to replace him with you. And with that knowledge, they did a reshoot where they brought Grant in for an after credit scene or whatever. And then they left with the knowledge of, okay, you're going to get one more season of the Flash, but that's it. And after that season's over, you're coming with us, buddy. You're getting
you
a
should
new
have saved
costume
that for later on in the segment.
Nah, I'm saying that's hopefully how I hope this went down, but I don't know. They may just genuinely want to go with somebody else other than Grant, which
I guess we'll see. The fans want it, but they have their own.
It's never up to
making
us.
Money.
We're just the voice. They are the brain. They control what happens.
But those were some of the movie releases, movie news for June. And we're not done with movies just yet, because June also had a couple really cool movie anniversaries.
Yeah.
So the first anniversary we're going to talk about, and actually this was maybe going to be an entire episode, but life happens. So we're going to talk about it right now.
Yay.
The Scooby-Doo 2002 movie had its 20th anniversary in June. It came out June 8th, 2002. And I mean, I know for our generation, those were big movies.
Wow. I was 7 years old. And I remember seeing that movie in theaters, and it was so great.
So good. Just scary enough for a kid because the monsters seem so realistic.
Yeah. My biggest shout out to that movie is the fact that they cast Freddie Prinze Jr. as Freddy. And that is just the best guy.
The cast
the cast
alone.
alone.
Oh my god,
We had
so
Sarah Michelle
good.
Gellar. We had Matthew Lillard,
Lisa
Linda
Cardinelli.
Cardellini,
Yeah, what a
Linda
Linda
Cardinelli,
Cardinelli.
and Neil Fanning voicing Scooby Doo. It was really good. Everyone fit so well, and it was directed by James Gunn,
Yeah, which
one of his
always
earlier projects.
slips my mind. And I thought about it when we were going to do the whole episode about it. I was like, damn, I thought back. It's like throughout the years, there's been a lot of his movies that I saw that I didn't realize were him. Like the movie Slither. If you guys have ever seen the horror comedy Slither, that's James Gunn, and it stars Nathan Fillion, and it is fantastic. It is so well written, and yeah, it blows my mind he did
That one is pretty
Scooby Doo.
good.
And Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed was fire, brought all the characters from the old Hanna-Barbera comics and
Oh yeah,
cartoons, and it was just, oh my god,
Minor 49er.
revolutionary. You had the
Bro, the
creeper
tar
in there,
monster.
the tar monster.
The cotton
So
candy
cool.
monster.
Yep, the cotton candy monster.
And then what was his name? Like Livewire or High Voltage or something like that.
I think it was Livewire. I can't remember
Yeah.
the submarine.
Oh no, it
dude's name.
was 50,000 volts ghost. That was
Yeah.
50,000 volts.
I can't
50,000 volts
remember
ghost.
the submarine guy's name either. He had the creepy shot
Black
of him
Manta.
coming out of the lake. I don't
No,
know.
that
if
was
his-
like Captain Ghostbeard or something.
I don't know if his name was. Yeah, it was something.
It might have just been
Oh, in the
Blackbeard.
Black Knight.
Blackbeard's ghost.
Yeah, the Black Knight was in it. They had the ghost pirate
They
was.
didn't
in
have
it.
the creeper though. I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
But
yeah,
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
They did
boys.
not have
We're
the
not
creeper,
talking about that
actually.
one.
That's
we're talking
true.
about the first movie.
Talk about the
taking
first
place
one.
on
No one's Scrappy Doo.
Spooky Island.
Spooky Island, baby.
With the whole cult, man, people having monsters go inside of them, pop outside of them, wearing them like skin suits.
There was some
the plot would be a
genuinely
horror movie.
Yeah, there was some genuinely spooky shots as a kid when it would show the monsters like morph their faces.
Yo,
and
the
stuff.
Voodoo Man.
Crazy.
The Voodoo Man. There's
the
actually
Voodoo
a
Man.
meme coming around now of the Voodoo Man from Scooby Doo talking about her dress, and it's hilarious. What?
But yeah, Scooby Doo. It had its 20th anniversary. Go watch it. It holds up. A good time.
Watch it again.
Yeah, go watch it again.
And
Yeah, the
before we move
twist,
on,
the twist of
and
Scrappy
twist,
Doo,
the twist of Scrappy
fantastic.
Doo. So good, and that brought most of the main cast into it. It was so good to see. And before we move on from movies, there were just a couple other anniversaries that I thought you guys might be interested in. The 25th anniversary of Batman and Robin was actually in June as well.
The George Clooney one.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
Nice.
Oh my God. You
And
know,
then
at the
even-
time they called that the best Batman movie ever when it first came out.
His only advice to Batmans nowadays is don't let them put nipples on the suit.
Yep.
Yeah, that was and Joel Shoemaker said he modeled them after the statues of Greek gods and was like, why? Even Batgirl had
Yeah,
nipples
right.
on her suit. That's wrong. Why would you do that?
You have a vision, you try and be different.
And look,
Doesn't always work out.
you don't make Nightwing in a comic accurate suit and then put a cape on him and call him Robin. I'm not
Right.
buying that. Sorry.
And then Uma Thurman is Poison Ivy.
She killed it, but
No
she had
complaints.
some horrible dialogue. Whoever wrote her dialogue was awful.
It was very cheesy, kind of 90s
Well,
era cartoon.
Alicia
style.
Silverstone landed down with them. You're about to become compost.
You're about to become compost.
It was like, who the hell wrote this? Did they read a 70s Batman
However,
comic?
didn't
They
that Batman
scold.
duo also give us Jim Carrey's Riddler?
No, actually, that was before. That one I do hold on a pedestal.
Now-
That is Batman Forever with Val Kilmer, Tommy Lee
That
That
Jones,
was
and
Val
Jim
Kilmer,
Carrey.
Gotcha.
And boy, that's a banger. Like,
There's just so many, man. There's so
that's
many.
a
Yeah.
banger.
And speaking of which, 30th anniversary for Batman Returns.
Oh, now that's a classic. That's the Tim Burton.
Yeah.
That is
Eat floor.
Danny DeVito as the greatest penguin we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
I'll hold the pedestal very high there. Yeah, you got
But
Michelle
yeah.
Pfeiffer's Catwoman.
Michael Keaton Batman.
I watched that one last year at some point, man. It was good.
That is a really good. It's considered a Christmas movie, so
Yeah.
it's very good.
It's up there with Die Hard.
Yeah, it's
Yep,
a great
Die
action
Hard.
Christmas film.
Batman Forever.
Yeah.
But that does it
Movies.
for the movies of June. And we are going to move into the television segment. Things on TV you might have missed, things that are released, things talked about. Of course, I'm going to start by saying The Boys. The Boys season 3.
Yes.
Boy.
4? We're on season 3.
Season
right?
3.
4? Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Is out right now. It's the craziest one yet. Shit is hitting the fan. It's not fully out yet, but get caught up. Watch The Boys. We also saw Miss
Not for the
Marvel
faint of
release-
heart.
Oh,
Yeah, not for the faint of heart. I
mean,
see.
yes.
There was this funny thing where I think it was their Twitter account was posting reviews of people who watched it for the first time, and some people watched it with their family.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. So they were trying to get it removed, and Amazon.
It is not a family fun show.
Not at all.
It is extremely graphic. So
If
that before going into it.
Yeah, if your family didn't like 2 cartoons kissing in Lightyear, then they're not gonna like The Boys. So just skip it
hold on.
altogether.
It depends their stance on gun control. Because if you're for guns,
no,
you might be into this show.
No,
because there's lots of blood and gore.
No,
Either way,
there's explicit superpowers that are extremely gross.
We got to tone back the political.
Yeah, I will say there is a character called the Love Sausage, so it is not for you. I don't care. They tell you one of the disclaimers this season is this show is not recommended to anyone, and that's pretty funny.
yeah.
But it's
So
great.
go watch
It's
The
fantastic.
Boys. Also released this month, Miss Marvel. We're finally getting a Miss Marvel live action.
Also,
I've heard
a lot
really
of
good things.
Also, a lot
Mixed
of
reviews,
hate.
but
I have
a lot of hate,
gone.
but I have heard.
I've
it's
gone
also
to
super good.
Facebook and I've trolled some people because sometimes it's against my will. Something takes over and I'm like, you have to troll this man. But there's a lot of grown
Are you admitting
adult
to being a troll?
40-year-old men who are just so upset at this show. And it's not meant for you, dude. Go watch the Avengers. Like the Marvel movies are not always going to pander to you. The show is genuinely trying to get more children involved into the future of Marvel, and it's not going to be as serious as you think.
First of all,
but it's a good
like
show.
To take a second.
It's a good show.
Someone who's been a fan of Kamala Khan since her creation. You can eat a dick. This show's amazing. All right. My only gripe about the show is that they have changed the source of her powers again. But you should also be aware that in her very, very short lifespan, which is only like 15, 16 years, something like that, her power source has changed like 4 times already. It's come from artifacts. She's been an Inhuman. She got her powers from the Kree already. Like there's multiple ways that her origin story comes. And it's simply from the fact that she is a Marvel fan. That is why she is named Miss Marvel. One of her longer names is Miss Marvel Fangirl.
Oh, so, while we are on the topic of Miss Marvel, their Disney cruise just started not too long ago. It's called the Avengers something cruise, and they show you a kind of short film while you're eating, and the short film showcases the next age of Avengers. So Captain Marvel's in the video. Sam Wilson's Captain America comes back for the video, showing all the new people. Kamala's in it.
Yeah,
and
dude.
She directly interacts with Captain Marvel. She looks at her and she's like, "Nice one, kid." And she's like, "Thanks, Cap." Like they are genuinely interacting. And one of the best parts about it is Ant-Man and the Wasp are there.
Nice.
And I think before it starts or closes, Ant-Man addresses, he comes in and he's
Oh,
like, hey, everyone,
yeah.
it's me, Scott Lang. I'm Ant-Man. And I noticed that there was a lot of theories online about why I didn't just shrink down and jump inside of Thanos' butt and kill him. And here's why. And they go into like this whole logistics where he explains it.
It's too strong, man. The butthole's too tight.
I was super excited though to just see everybody interacting, like Kamala
Yeah.
interacting with the new Cap and with Captain Marvel and
Yeah.
Ant-Man. Like
And
that's
honestly, just with the type of character that Kamala is, if they keep like her personality from the comic books and put it to the show, she's got this weird way of like bringing people together and like relating to so many people that I
yeah.
feel like if they do this right, it's a really good way to get the whole generation that like didn't grow up with the Marvel movies and Avengers coming out to kind of get them involved and maybe go back and give it the time of day so that they can get caught up, because she's really all about coming together. And
Well,
Yeah.
and like Alex was saying, this is also like a new generation of Avengers, and it's for a new generation of fans.
Yeah. You just gotta like it or not. I mean, it's all up to you. I
So
think it's great. My family likes it, thinks it's great. It's fun. It's entertaining. So it is
with
what it
that,
is.
I'm gonna throw it to Alex for another television release, Gotham Knights.
opposite end of the spectrum there, mate.
So look here. So it was in the afternoon of May 31st. So I still wanted to lump it in because it was one day off. We
12.
got a trailer for a new CW show called Gotham Knights. Now, the first thing you think is, oh, this is going to be based off of the video games, right? No, not at all. This movie has absolutely no ties to the game. This is a completely new generation of characters, mostly ones that they've created and some that don't even fit in this timeline. But here is your story. So the Batman was essentially jumped by whoever,
Random
and
thugs.
they killed him in the street. Now, because of this, mind you, in the shot that we see of Batman, I can't even like, if I were to put on my Batman cosplay and go to the set, they would have been like, yo, who's this professional that just walked on? Like, it is so bad. The Batman cowl is a mask. It's not a cowl. It's not a helmet. It is a Party City rubber mask that they just have glued to this dude's face. And it's horrible. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. But here's your story, right? So Batman's dead in the street. Word gets around Batman's dead. So the rogue galleries start going crazy. So Batman's adopted son, Robin, Turner Hayes, whoever the hell Turner Hayes is, his adopted son, decides he is going to try to carry the legacy.
Hold on, I want to pause there.
Of
Just
Batman.
Not any of his other adopted sons, nor
Yeah.
his birth son, that all have canonical existence.
No.
Continue.
His adopted son, Turner Hayes, stumbles across the Batcave, realizes that his adopted father was Batman, and decides to put a team together to keep Gotham City safe. Now, the issue is the team he puts together isn't anybody from, Teen Titans or anything like that. These are characters that don't even exist in this timeline that he's in. So you've got Carrie Kelly, who is Robin when Batman is 60 years old. Doesn't make sense. You've got Duella Dent, who is the birth child of the Joker, but adopted daughter of Two-Face. Batman is much, much older when she gets introduced into the storyline.
She's a Batman Beyond.
She's the love interest. She's the love interest for Turner Hayes now. You've got Stephanie Brown, who was Batgirl after Tim Drake had already become Robin. So where are you getting these characters? You don't have anyone that even remotely pertains to the game coming out, yet you share the same name, different storylines, different settings. I don't understand what they were going for. Why? Like, why does the CW of all people feel the need to just come up with some teen bop shit and be like, this is DC Comics? Like,
The angst is about to be through the roof.
no.
This one.
And the worst part about it, you go and you get Misha Collins, who played Castiel in Supernatural. Great character. Everybody loves Misha Collins Castiel. Now you bring him in and he's Two-Face. So you're going to draw people into this show expecting to see a wonderful performance by him, but you're going to be dogged down by all this angsty ass 13-year-old I'm Batman drama.
Just wait until Duella Dent gets pregnant by Batman's son and has to hide it from her two fathers, Harvey and the Joker. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah, and he's gonna be like Superboy or something because they need that dynamic.
Oh wait, hit him with the hero names. Hit him with the hero names.
Which okay, so I'm not sure. Like this, yeah, another gripe. I'm not sure if they're going by aliases or if they're going by like, you know, whatever they come up with or comic book or something. But it looks like they go out and fight crime without a costume on. So from what I've seen, he is supposedly called Batboy.
Batboy.
Which is random. It's just completely random. Then you have Spoiler, who she wasn't even Spoiler until after her run as Batgirl, which pisses me off. And then you just have Carrie Kelly. You know who she is she's just Robin.
Carrie Kelly.
Just call her Robin. Why is she Carrie Kelly?
That's like Spider-Man being like, "Stop, I'm Peter Parker."
Yeah, what do they call you? I'm your friendly neighborhood
Stop, I'm Peter Parker. Here's my license. Here's my
here's my social security
registration. Yeah.
Here's
it's
my
almost
living relative.
It's almost a blessing that they are going through and just murdering their whole DC catalog. They've canceled everything but The Flash. Now The Flash is ending so that DC can finally just die out with TV series with CW.
My thing is, like, I feel like Gotham was pretty good. You know, we had some good villains in it.
Gotham was good. Gotham was not a CW show either.
Right.
It was good. No.
Oh,
I can't remember who owned Gotham, but it wasn't
it was
CW.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then we had The Flash, which is great, still going. Green Arrow was pretty good. Got a little angsty, but not anything like what we're getting nowadays.
Green Arrow was the legacy. That was the first show to come out for DC.
And then they did Batwoman, and they tried to be really, really woke. And now they're going to do Gotham Knights, which is not tied to Gotham Knights, and try and be really, melodramatic.
Yeah, they tanked Batwoman. It was the writing got out of hand. Like even after Ruby left, the writing had got so out of hand.
Just like they killed Supergirl.
Yeah. Supergirl had some of the worst CG on TV. And that's your legacy, CW. That's what you live up to.
So dark on you. not all the June releases were a good thing, but for our last June release, it is a good thing. It's a great thing because it's also going to bring you some new content. And of course, I'm going to bring up some old content. That's Stranger Things Part 4. Part 2 dropped July 1st. If you haven't watched Stranger Things yet, you need to start it. You need to watch it. Season 4 was bonkers.
I'll honestly say that was the hardest I've ever cried during a TV series. It was like every time I thought I was done, it just something happened, and it was so gut-wrenching.
And that's all we're gonna say, because I'm gonna throw it to Justin, who's got some exciting news for you. Justin, being our resident not Stranger Things fan, hasn't seen any of it, but you're gonna get some good content out of that. Tell him about it, Justin.
No, yeah. So I highly recommend that you go ahead and watch the rest of Stranger Things that's come out, because in about 2 to 3 weeks, I'll be binging the entire show. and probably not sleeping that much. And then I'm going to bring you a wonderful synopsis of the entire show, and it will be filled with as many spoilers as I can possibly muster. And we'll just see what my delirious mind kind of forms in that episode of Unhinged Binge.
I'm hoping there's gonna be like questions asked, like,
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna need clarification because there's gonna be so much in my head that I'm gonna have to rely on you two, because I'm gonna be saying things that might not make sense. And that's where you two come in, who are adamant fans of the show.
yeah. All right.
We're gonna figure out all the kinks and details, but get excited.
I
We've
do
got
just
a
want to
whole-
mention, I know I've talked about this Unhinged binge with Stranger Things a lot. That's not the only one. Just a quick sneak peeks on some other Unhinged binges that will be coming in the future. We've got Umbrella Academy.
Yes, sir. I did
Avatar:
it.
The Last Airbender.
Yes,
We've got
sir.
other shows.
Yeah, we
Possibly Ted Lasso.
are building a catalog for the rest of this year. So you've got the W.A.K cast, the W.A.K show, and Unhinged binge. And there's all kinds of great content coming from each. So
Yep. So we've been a little lax this month, but we do have big plans for the future. We've got different segments, maybe multiple videos starting to be released. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what gets you excited, what kind of content you prefer.
And honestly, y'all, it's my dream to get y'all involved with us, mostly for the W.A.K show. We're doing what we can right now, but my hope is that in the future that we can get fans on camera right there.
Yep. We want y'all
Make y'all part
to
of it.
answer the questions so we don't have to feel like the stupid ones.
Me personally, I would honestly, once we branch a little bit, I would like to maybe once a month do like small interview segments with certain fans. I think that would be really fun. So that could be a possibility for the future of the show.
You know, and
Yeah,
we're really
so-
just a growing organization right now. So, you know, give us your thoughts, give us your prayers, you know, just tell us what you want to see.
Ain't nobody praying for me.
Demand things of us.
There you go. So yeah, get in the comments. Get excited.
In the comments.
We're excited to bring you this content.
That's Rhett's
And we're
catchphrase.
just gonna end it here. I don't have any Naboo's news. The only thing I've got for you, of course, is going to be the PS Plus games for July. Were announced, and it's pretty decent. We're gonna get Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time, so that's a cool one. If you're a PlayStation, what is it, premium member, I'm pretty sure they gave you the Crash
Insane trilogy.
Bandicoots.
No, it's
Insane
for the
trilogy
essentials.
for
You can get it
free,
on essentials.
and you can get it on essentials. So
look, now I do
there's
have
that
a
one.
small gripe with that. See, look, I decided to upgrade to premium last month, so I've been running it out for a while, and I'm having a blast playing the classics, like all the goods. I'm about to play Red Dead 1 because I've never played that. I've played Star Wars Bounty Hunter. You know, I'm currently playing the Mafia Remastered trilogy, which is so good, but everything else that's not a classic, I already own it, or it's just not interesting at all. So all the PS4 catalogs, I'm just not into it, but I love all the retros. Those are awesome.
Well, the retros are why you get premium.
Yeah.
And if you have a PS5, you do get some cool PS5 exclusives to play for free. So, but moving on, we also have the Man of Medan, which is one of the Dark Anthology series games, and we have an Arcade-ageddon, so even more classic games for you to play for free.
Yeah, go into Man of Medan with an open mind. It is, in my opinion, not great.
It's psychological.
Yeah. The only game out of that trilogy that was really good was House of Ashes, which is the last one.
There's supposed to be 7 of those games, and they just weren't doing a great job.
That is the off-branch studio from the Until Dawn guys who just dropped the Quarry. That's their brother studio, and
which Until Dawn is also available for free if you have the PlayStation.
Yes, I'm going to replay Until Dawn. It's so good. I want to try to get it on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am excited to get Crash Bandicoot though. I grew up with that shit.
Mhm.
I'd never played the Insane trilogy.
Same.
I haven't yet either, but now you can play through it all, 1 through 4.
So I might give that a shot.
But there you go, fans. Thanks for coming out, Wakpak. We're sorry we haven't been here. We're hoping to get on a better schedule soon and bring
Yep.
you some great content. As always, please leave a like, subscribe, get in the comments. We want to hear from you. We want to engage. But it's been a pleasure. And as always, I've been Naboo That's Who.
I'm Super Symbiote.
I'm Fluff McGruff.
We'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Bye bye.